Game 1, Western Conference Finals, T-Wolves Thunder. I have a lot going on in this series with some big upside if the T-Wolves find a way to advance. If they don't, I technically won't lose money because I have OKC to win the West, but I also won't win money either. Bottom line, I'll be rooting for the T-Wolves in this series, but I'm going to try and not let that influence how I bet the individual games throughout the series. It's safe to say whoever wins this series will be the favorites in the final versus either the Knicks or Pacers. It's the two best teams remaining from a net ratings perspective, and also the number 1 and 2 defensive teams in the playoffs. This game 1 line opened OKC -7. It's currently at 7.5, so not much movement there, but the total has been bet up. It opened 213.5. It's currently painted 216 across the board, which on the surface does make sense. When a series starts, the only thing we can work off of is the previous meetings in the regular season. So when we look back at those 4 regular season games, especially the 3 most recent ones played back in February, we can see the totals at 228.5 and 227.5. But as we know, we can pretty much just throw out regular season meetings. The playoffs are a completely different style of play, much more physical, half-court sets, defensive intensity is way up. The average over-under in the regular season for all games this season was 228. In the postseason, average over-under is 215. That pretty much says it all right there. Now, usually we can use regular season meetings to figure out how each team will match up with one another, but only one game, the first game back in December, was the only game where they both played at full strength. Minnesota was shorthanded in 3 of those games, missing Julius Randle and Rudy Gobert. Chet Holmgren missed a game or two for the Thunder, and I think Ant missed 1, maybe 2 games too. But despite Minnesota being shorthanded in 3 of those regular season meetings, they did manage to beat OKC twice, which does say something considering OKC only lost 14 games all season, 2 of them being to Minnesota alone. Now, even though the T-Wolves were the 6th seed in the West, their overall numbers were much better. I had them as the 5th best team in the league based on my power ratings, but I still would have OKC 4-point favorites if they played on a neutral court. So when you add in home court advantage, my number is right around 7.5 or 8, so I don't show much value on the side. But because I do think this series will be more competitive than the odds makers think, I did bet over 5.5 games in this series. The T-Wolves are the more experienced team after last year's deep run to the Western Conference Final. OKC only has one player who has conference finals experience. That's Alex Caruso. Although I don't think that alone is enough to close the gap of how much better OKC is. But the Thunder did show some lack of experience in those close late game situations versus Denver. So I do really think we see this series go 6 or 7 games. I also bet the over 214, but that number is gone. And, it's really why giving out bets is so tough, because a big part of my betting process is analyzing the market using a live odds screen, identifying line moves, and taking advantage of slower moving books. It's a very time-sensitive thing, and it's really impossible for me to make the bet, film a video on the bet, upload it, and the number still be available. One of the worst outcomes, in my opinion, is I give out a bet, say over 214, someone follows it, bets over 216, and it lands 215. Yeah, sure, I would win, which is good, but the person following my opinion loses, which would take away any satisfaction I would have about winning. And that's why I believe sports betting education has far more value than just simply giving out picks. It's hard enough to win on my own, never mind helping someone else win. But let me stop here. If you watch to the end, thank you. I really appreciate it. Good luck tonight.